Hello, gorgeous Librans, and welcome to September 2020. Are you ready for this one? Ooh, this is a powerful time of the year, and this is a powerful point in the year of 2020. Of course, this is going to be the beginning of Libran season on the equinox on September 22nd as the sun shifts into your sign, and we are at that point of balancing. But the other big thing that's happening this month is Mars beginning its retrograde in your opposing sign of Aries. Now, we are all going to be feeling this Mars retrograde. And in fact, we were feeling the pre-shadow pretty intensely all of August. And when he goes retrograde on the 9th, he's going to spend 2 months going all the way across Aries and giving us some really deep review. Now, this is kind of personal for you, Librans. I'm going to be honest. This month, you're going to notice that there is a very deep personal integration process going on that will continue until the new year. So something to keep in mind as you're working here, that some of the themes we're going to talk about today in September are going to stick with you until the new year. And a lot of this has to do with transformation, recalibration, rebalancing, which is such a fitting descriptor for a Libran conversation, being the sign that has to do with calibration and balance and finding new equilibrium and finding new spots of balance. But this is also a season of transformation for you. And even before we get to your season, even before the sun hits your sign, we are going to be having some really deep 12th house integration. As we work through Virgo season, we always have a time too where we are integrating and learning if you have Libran energy. The note that came up for me this month with all of this in mind, this is a month about seeing yourself from a new perspective, a new lens, and I think this has been happening all year. But there's something about September where the moments of click, shaking the camera, being crazy over here. The moments of click, the moments of recognition, the moments of full circle, and sometimes the moments of disorientation around being so different, so new, are all going to be themes coming up during this time. You're going to be learning to navigate with new circuitry, right? New circuitry in your brain, new reactions to how you get things done. So this is a powerful time, and I would just say, no matter when we're in Virgo season or the sun has moved into Libra season, get rest when you can. Do not be surprised if you feel like you need to rest or you need to emote a little bit more than usual. And if you're kind of questioning it because you feel pretty peppy, you feel pretty positive about life, or you feel like things are going fine, why do I feel like I need to feel big things? It's because you're recalibrating. It's because you are connecting in with a whole bunch of new energetic cycles, and you won't really start to see, the physical manifestation of them until probably next year, but you're going to be feeling them on the energetic level. And I think that can be one of the most disorienting things when you deeply feel that you have changed. You cannot go home to your familiar patterning or the familiar version of who you've been. And you can feel that everything's changed, but you can't quite physically see it all happening yet. That's going to be a big hallmark of the next couple of months. Hanged Man. That's a perfect representation of just what I was talking about with the rest and the incorporation. Now this month we're going to pull our 4 cards, one for kind of each week of the month-ish. 3 of Swords. All right, yeah, we're doing some healing. And that's one of the things that's coming up with Mars retrograde. Now, when we talk about Mars retrograde, a lot of times you'll hear that, this is going to be a time of low motivation, low vital energy, because Mars is so much about roaring forward, getting things done, initiating things. It's very cardinal energy, right? And we're all going to be lacking maybe some of that fire. But I also think that Mars, when he goes internal like this, he takes that fire and he goes, 2 more cards wanted to come out. 4 of Cups and the Strength card. I love it. Okay, he goes internal and he helps us to connect some dots. Now I know some Librans last month were feeling a little disheartened by our conversations around that leveling up, around that integration, about that honesty, about that truth. And I know that these cards maybe seem a little bit overwhelming or intimidating. Again, like we're going to be going through some of the same things, but I will have to say that despite the fact that, Mars retrograde can seem a little scary or intimidating, this is a time of deep healing, especially in Aries, I think. Because one of the cultural things that is helping us heal on a collective level is this idea that merit is gained by pushing ourselves very hard. It is gained by constantly pushing to move forward, constantly pushing to be at the top of the pile. This particular Mars retrograde in Aries is speaking to a healing around this and into an incorporation and a deeper level of self-love that allows us to grow into ourselves more fully. Another thing to keep in mind this month is that we're going to slowly start to see other planets go direct over the next couple of months. Both Saturn and Jupiter are going to go direct this month in Capricorn. And we're going to start to notice that some of those bigger, deeper themes that were happening earlier in the year are starting to resolve, close out, and open the gateway to what is next. So this is a very transitional time. I think the equinox always is. And it's a time of both flowering and hopefulness and pragmatism and grief and incorporation and honoring how we are shifting. So that's what I see here. And I actually see this as a huge, it's like its own little chrysalis process for the month of September for you, which makes sense. Once again, we have all this energy moving through Virgo before we get to the equinox and your season. The 12th house is an initiation where we go through the hidden spaces within us. We note, we observe, we rest, we listen in. Therefore, when that sun returns to us, we open our eyes, we awake to what is next. And we take with us that ability to initiate new things. So we start right away with Hanged Man. Now, I love Hanged Man. This is a card that is tied to prosperity, but it's prosperity via the mysterious process of rest, of meditation, of alignment, of calmness. Now, one theme that comes up, and a lot of spiritual teachers are talking about this right now, a lot of discussions are going on around this. There may be an almost feeling of this amplification, like there's scary stories coming forward a lot, right? And the Hanged Man is about the ability to find a piece of calm within your own mind, within your own soul, no matter what is going on in the world. And not to be like in a selfish, denialistic way whatsoever, but nobody can help anybody else if we are in an agitated state, right? And so the Hanged Man speaks to that state of connection and to mastering the story we want to tell. So this is an important part of your process and one that I think you're learning to master right now. And the Hanged Man also represents, ascension and deep psychic ability. So this is a time of that, and I think Virgo season will show that. Now, I know, we got a couple cards that a lot of people are going to see these and say, oh my gosh, Sarah, are you kidding me? But weirdly enough, whenever the Three of Swords comes into a reading anymore, I do a lot of work with this. I've been doing years of work with these energies, and when the Three of Swords comes in, it's always an invitation. It's an invitation about how we have repetitive thoughts and repetitive cycles that we no longer want to invest in. Now, 3 is an interesting number. It is a creative number. It's the creative number. It's the father, mother, child dynamic. And the Three of Swords is a challenge to you. It's to say that something is leaving. I think Three of Swords can be both a huge liberation in being able to see where it is that you do not want to plug back into the same dynamic, and a place to grieve that, to grieve the leaving behind of a familiar dynamic. And this can happen in very subtle ways. I know for me, I'm having a lot of new changes in my life, and they are really positive. They're beautiful, and they are asking me to leave behind familiar. a lot of familiar things, little familiar ways I do things in the day, familiar thought patterns, familiar locations, familiar routines. And that feels good. And it also feels full of grief, overwhelm, surprise. I have days where that feels really great and days where that feels really like I need to feel. And that's what Three of Swords really speaks to. Also this month, with recalibration, with shedding a skin, with learning to be a new being, there is rest and integration that is very important for you. And this is where Four of Cups is such a useful energy. I love Four of Cups. It's a rounding out, it's a culmination, it's an understanding, it's a coming to an understanding, it's a preparation before a huge infusion of new energy. Part of what I see here with these more restful, integrative, deep cards is that we're adjusting to Mars retrograde, which we will get adjusted to that logic over the next couple of months. We're adjusting to that. We're adjusting to the end of a solar year for Librans, adjusting to what has been learned in the last even 6 months since it was Aries season, and an adjustment to opening your heart up to what is next. And that is where the Strength card comes in. Strength has so much to do with our heart and our openness when it comes to our heart, right? Yes, it is also about sustaining. It's also about being in a state of calmness and loving, nurturing, groundedness. But this is a card associated with the heart. It's associated with what we're sustaining next. It's a fierce, loving, beautiful card, and it really lights you up. And in fact, Venus, your ruling planet, is moving through Leo for a good chunk of September and creating this really beautiful flow with you that is beautiful for love and connection and blooming open. But here's the deal with everything that I'm seeing here. You have to let yourself wish and pray and connect and allow yourself to feel these big quivering dreams inside of you, because there is some resistance right now, and you may feel from the last 6 months or so that it's scary to be open, to allow your heart to be open to the dreaming, to the hope, to the curiosity, because it's felt a little bit out of reach the last 6 months, the last 9 months, or maybe that you're being a fool. Hanged Man, once again, is going to be speaking to you about that. But this is an important time to let your heart sing to you and show you the way, because it will be lighting up your path in 2021, and you will be in some ways playing with time in a very interesting way where, yes, you're here in September, and I'm always all about being in the present moment, but this present moment is very deeply interlaced with what is ahead for you in the coming years. And there can be an interesting dialogue between literally sitting, at your kitchen table in the morning and just being in your day here in September, and having an influx of energy from next February coming in. And that is very much a part of what is going on here during this time, and I think especially during this Mars retrograde in your opposing sign. I have a little invocation for Libra season, for the equinox, and for Mars beginning its retrograde. Of course, we are going to go even deeper on all of these things over on my Patreon. So if you're looking to get some more guidance around any of these, I would love to see you there. But this is the invocation that I'm bringing in for this September and for this transformational month of balance, recharge, connecting in. May this season of depth bring healing and connection. May I allow new ways of seeing and being flow through me. May I feel soft and relaxed as I transform. May I allow myself to dream and wish. May I welcome in a new energetic era. I will say this one last time, but this is a very important month specifically for you Librans to anchor in energetically. No matter what else is going on around you, no matter what else, whether stories, voices, things coming at you or moving around you. Anchor in energetically what it is that you really feel in your soul. Let your heart open to it. This is going to be something that in some ways other people aren't maybe going to see it. And it doesn't matter right now. All that matters is that you're taking really good care of yourself and that you're letting this energetic work with you and connect in with you and open you up to some beautiful things. I'll also say this. As September keeps going, I think you're going to be finding that you're opening more and more and more and more and feeling more energized and feeling clearer and understanding what it is that you're bringing in. The beginning of the month, you may feel a little bit more like, I'm not sure what to do with this time. And as it unfolds and as we get closer to your birthday, which happy birthday to the September Librans out there, it will get clearer. So keep that in mind as well. Like I said, you can find so many more resources that we will be doing for the Mars retrograde specifically, and also all these planets going direct, and all the shifts we're going to be dealing with over the next few months. It's an interesting end portion of 2020, I will tell you that. We're going to be going deep on all of that over on Patreon, as well as I'll be sharing a lot more of my personal story. So if you're interested, I'd love to see you there. You can also find me on my Instagram and my website. And of course, you can find PinkLune's gorgeous jewelry on her Etsy shop. I'll leave all those beautiful links below. I'm sending you all my love, and I will talk to you very soon.